Now! If there was a fire here, the whole petrol station would go up. And take the watchtower with it too. Filled to the brim with petrol. Nice and gloomy. The pump is pretty close to the watchtower. Filled to the brim with petrol. It smells particularly strongly here. If that thing went up, it'd make some really pretty fireworks. But how could you ignite it? Maybe Alfred can help me, and I'll give Mike a call tonight.
So, who we got here then? The pretty English girl. Come here a minute. Let's have a little chat.
Look, my saviour from yesterday. Good evening. So, how are you? Do you go for a walk every evening?
I do. My doctor has recommended it. The old bones need a little exercise, eh? And you? Are you having a nice time here with us? Did everything go okay with the accommodation?
Yes, everything's fine. It's really interesting here, and the beach is wonderful. Only with all of the soldiers, it's a bit unnerving.
Well, yes, I know. I don't especially like the military. All the shouting orders, the dreary uniforms, the marching. Soldiers are simply boring. But we need them. History has taught us that much.
Oh, you've got some nerve. Just watch out that those over there don't give you any trouble.
I don't think so, little girl. Tell me, what brings you here? A young girl here from England on her own? That's brave. Unusual.
Oh, well, you know, I just kind of set off. Rather spontaneous. I'm looking for something, you could say.
Ah, my word. Looking for something. Aren't we all? And what are you looking for then? For knowledge? Recognition? Friends? Life's big goal?
A bit of each, I guess.
Yes, I can understand that. That's what bonds us. What do you do in England? Study?
I've already done that. Art and art history.
Oh, well then. You must certainly have some excellent job prospects.
Exactly. There's nothing in my way for a successful career in the industry.
Ah, you're young. You've got plans for sure. What are you going to do with all the studying? What are you going to do with your life?
Yes, well, I still have to find that out. And you? What do you do? You seem to be a man who commands some respect here.
You know what, little lady? I'd very much like to show you. My house isn't far from here. Would you like to visit? I'm inviting you to dine with me.
Oh, that's really nice of you, but, I don't know if,
Please, you can rest assured that I'm just a harmless old fool who would just like to chat and show off his house.
Well then, that makes the offer irresistible.
Come on then. Here we are.
That's your house?
My modest abode. Please.
Does that mean...
Come, come. We can chat more while we eat.
That's overwhelming, but it's way cool. It's got a cable car. Your architect really went to town.
Come, my dear. We have to take the cable car. It does sway a little.
Wow.
You like it?
Very much. It's just amazing. Can I have a look around?
But of course. Please, ask me if you want to know anything. I'm going to sit a while.
Where do these stairs go to?
Oh, that's the access to my landing pad. I have a helicopter, you know.
Your very own helicopter. Now that's cool. In case you need to leave quickly, then?
Yes, it is. In my position, that can happen faster than you think.
You still haven't told me what you do.
You guessed already? Or possibly not?
You're Rayla Alengi, this republic's president.
Does that disturb you?
No, not really. Should it?
No. As long as we're not enemies.
Ah, now that sounds rather sinister. You have a lot of enemies, don't you?
Oh yes, a lot. My life has always been defined by struggle.
And don't you want that to stop?
Yes, I would like it to stop. But I didn't go looking for my enemies. They came looking for me. If I want peace from them, I not only have to fight them, I have to win.
This map here, does it show the island?
Yes, precisely. Although it's one of the oldest maps, it's also one of the best. Strange, isn't it?
And these little symbols, they look like they've been drawn in at a later date.
You're very curious, little Tracy.
That's what my ex-boyfriend always used to say.
And what did you reply?
Well, that I'm just interested.
Interested? Of course. I've just had the minefield added to the map. The one we had laid around the island. It would be rather stupid if I had to leave the island by sea and didn't know myself where I should be sailing.
That's true. So why did you have everywhere mined here?
Oh, yes. Well, we didn't want to wake up one morning to find a whole British or American army standing on the beach.
And what would they want? There really isn't much here.
You're very amusing. You're also correct. If I wasn't here, then there wouldn't be anything at all. And there are people that really do wish for that.
Do you live in fear of that?
Of course I know fear. Not to know fear is to be an idiot. Bravery is recognizing your fear and knowing how to tame it.
I've already heard that.
Most definitely. The advantages of a humanistic European education.
This curtain is beautiful. What's behind it? Can I look?
After we've eaten, perhaps.
Oh, a secret, yes?
Exactly that.
The excitement's unbearable already.
Be patient. So, have you seen enough, little Tracy?
Honestly, I could look around here for hours on end.
I like you. Your interest is genuine. You don't come across that so often.
Oh, thank you.
The compliment needn't make you feel uncomfortable. You must surely be hungry,
I'm starving. I didn't think you were going to ask again.
Oh dear, I really am a monster. Come, let's sit at the table, and I'll have something brought to us. Please.
Oh, that was good. You must pass my compliments on to the chef. The black dumplings, what were they made from?
You like them?
And how?
From scarab beetles. Delicious, yes? Nonsense. They were truffles. You really must have a terrible picture of me.
Whew, you gave me a bit of shock there.
You thought I'd do that?
No. Yes. Oh, I don't know. I hardly know you.
What do you know about me, little Tracy? I have the feeling it's more than you're telling.
What makes you think that?
I feel it. Are you afraid of me?
No. A little, perhaps.
You've read where I come from. You know what this republic here is about,
Well, yes. I read a few things before I came out here.
And do you believe what you've read about me?
I'm not sure.
Then ask. Ask away and I'll answer all your questions. Everyone.
I did read that you were an art collector.
Yes, I am.
But I hardly see any pictures in your house.
Hey, you're a good observer. There are pictures in this house. I've only been collecting for a few years, but my collection is unique.
So how do you collect? Particular periods? Particular artists?
Oh, first of all, I collected without any kind of system. Before the coup took place in our country, my only criterion was that a picture should please me.
That's a good principle.
That it is. But then I became more selective.
Uh-huh. And, like, how?
Did you know that in our country, we believe that every picture has a soul? And not only the one that you might see of the person in the picture, but also a soul that belongs to the owner of the picture itself. There is always a spiritual connection between the picture and its owner.
That's a very beautiful concept, and not so far removed from one I have myself.
Once upon a time, I never really paid much heed to this belief. I used to find pictures either beautiful or ugly. It was a superficial way of looking at them.
And now?
And now, I collect the ones which give me the deepest gratification. Do you understand that?
I don't know if I do exactly.
Let's leave it at that. These are strong feelings I'm talking about. Maybe even quite questionable ones. I wouldn't like to scare you. Look, now I'm scaring you again.
About your country, the old Republic of Surinawa.
Yes?
What happened there? I mean, I have read a little of the history and...
I play a somewhat inglorious role?
Well, yes.
Yes, I know. History is always written by the victors. That is the heart of the imperialist ideology.
And how does your version read?
Surinawa was always a very proud country. British colonial rule almost ruined it. The British plundered our mines, subjugated our people. They could hardly expect that there would be no revolt. When we became independent, the natural resources became ours once more. Precious metals, uranium, and ores gave us back our prosperity, and our republic became a rising African state. But then the colonial rulers returned, only this time in the form of mining corporations. This could have been the second expropriation, and I was not going to allow it. We defended our land with an iron fist against not only the invaders, but also against the many traitors and collaborators within our midst.
You had them killed?
We did what was necessary. We had the choice to either fight or suffer servitude for a second time.
You say that what you did was necessary. Do you also think that it was right?
What's necessary is also right, and what's right becomes necessary.
Perhaps.
Principles, my little Tracy, are important. Things that are necessary and right must also be done with severity and anger. And if it has to be so, with hate also, unrelenting and without pity, with resolve and burning with hatred, that's how we have to fight, in the service of truth and justice.
That sounds quite terrible.
The truth can be brutal and also painful. You can't always have it both ways, as many Europeans love to think. Sometimes the only option is to have one or the other, to decide for one thing and let the other thing go. You're not saying anything anymore, Tracy. I'm scaring you, and I don't want to do that.
I don't know what to say.
Because it sounds so awful?
No, not because of that, but because you sound like you could be right.
All of us have to decide. You, me, all of us. Life doesn't wait for us. It comes at us. And we have to decide.
Can I ask you something else?
But of course.
Why did you invite me here?
There are two answers. I don't like eating alone. That's one. I enjoy company. It's nice to have someone around.
So you're always alone then? You don't have a wife or any children?
I'm a warrior, Tracy.
But that doesn't mean...
Yes, it does. I once had a wife. Yes, and a daughter.
Where are they both now?
My wife left me after the government takeover. She found my methods unacceptable. She was weak. The fact that she went wasn't a loss to me. It was the right thing.
And your daughter?
I don't know where she's living. She turned against me many years ago now. I don't have a daughter anymore. You understand?
Yes, I understand that completely.
It's not such a rare thing. I have a business partner. He has an armaments business. The situation is just the same with his daughter. She's become a criminal and hates him with a passion.
He's an arms manufacturer?
Perhaps that's why.
Yes, that's quite possible. What do you say to him?
I tell him to forget her.
Yes, maybe that's the only option. I have to think about all this. I'm tired.
Would you like to remain my guest for this evening?
I don't know if that really...
Would be right. But yes, don't think about it. You can sleep in my daughter's room.
I thought she'd left you.
Yes, but I've always kept a room for her, in case she...
Wants to come back?
So, that's enough of the sad stories. I still wanted to show you something. Are you still keen?
That depends on what it is.
My collection.
Oh yes, I want to see that, most definitely.
I thought so. Then come along. Come.